Hey, welcome back to Fanatics Unite. This is Nick. We also got
Nick
and Larry.
All right. Honestly, guys, I think the last time I seen you guys was like a month ago. It's been like a long hiatus.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I run into Black Cloud at the comic store, comic book shop. That's about it.
Is that what you guys have a comic book romance now?
Well, I go every Wednesday, and he stopped by the past 2 times. Once I was leaving, and this past week he was in while I was there.
Yes.
So Fanatics Unite members, they're trying to kick me out already. They want to have romance over here.
Well, I will.
That's a good transition too. You just replace one Nick with another Nick.
One Nick with a Nick. I don't think I ever called Black Cloud Nick though. It's called Black Cloud. Yeah. I worked from home the last 2 Wednesdays, but I've decided what time do they close Wednesday? 7:30.
Yeah, like 7.
So I'm going to start leaving work early enough to still get there. Does Mike work all day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he goes back and forth from his house to the store. Goes
he lives next door.
Yeah, that's his house with the little tower and shit.
The brick thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
He, dude, so, Black Cloud already knows. You might have saw Black Cloud's Facebook picture, but he got this guy brought in all this, old shit for him to sell on, consignment. But it was like, this first Spider-Man.
Amazing Fantasy number 15.
15, which is what I told him to, the Tales from the Suspense.
Tales of Suspense was Iron Man.
Iron Man. I told him to let me know how much he's going to sell it for because depending on how much he sells it for, I might buy it.
And then they had Avengers number 3, where Captain America comes back. I think it was 3 or 4. It may have been 4.
It was about $30,000 to $40,000 worth of comics, depending on.
I held them in my hand.
You did.
I was like hyperventilating while holding these comics because the minute I had them in my hand, Mike's like, "I haven't graded Amazing Fantasy 15, but it's going to be worth at least $15,000, so watch yourself." And I started dropping a little, picked it up, and just started like hyperventilating uncontrollably.
Did you say 15,000?
Oh yeah, no, $15,000. Man.
So like a price of a car, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that. Is that like
Spider-Man's popular? Spider-Man's always popular.
I believe.
Kids love Peter Parker because he's relatable.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Is that the highest like a comic book has gone, or we're talking millions of dollars?
Action Comics number 1, like a really good grade of it, you can get
Detective
anywhere from
Comics.
$1 million to $3.5 million for that. That was the intro of Superman, and what was it, Detective 27?
Yeah.
Was Batman, and that one's...
Then you have Batman number 1. You have random issues of other comics. I think the most recent issue that sold really heavy was the first issue Thanos was introduced, and it was a random issue of Iron Man, and it went for like 60,000 or 600. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you get them up to 600.
Wow.
I was reading not too long ago they didn't even know this existed, apparently. And it sold for, I think, like $900,000 on eBay. It was Captain Marvel number 1, but it was a sketch. Like, now they do the sketch variants. It was a sketch cover, but it wasn't supposed to be like a special variant. It was more of they purposely didn't finish the color, and no one even knew that it existed.
Whoa.
But it was like a 9 grade too. So I still to this day don't understand how the pricing for CGC grading, but it's confusing.
It's all like the comic could be in pristine condition, but the smallest little brown smudge on it will drop it a good $10,000 to $15,000.
Well, I don't even understand how much you have to pay to get a comic graded. It's so confusing.
No.
You usually bring it through a comic book shop that they send it and stuff. So, yeah, man. So
comics and toys, great investments. I have a Generation 1 Masterpiece Grimlock Toys R Us exclusive action figure I bought for $60 like 3 years ago with my buddy Aaron, and it's worth like $200, $300 now on eBay.
The key is you don't open them.
Oh yeah, and which is really really hard, especially.
I don't open my Transformers toys. My DC figures, I open them because they're badass. Mm-hmm. I just bought the most recent Crime Syndicate figure, and it's Power Ring. It's like the alternate version of Green Lantern.
All right.
And he has this power battery that just looks like an alien skull, and it's
that does look
it wasn't even on the packaging. It wasn't in the comic. It wasn't featured anywhere, and it just randomly popped in with this toy. I had no idea it came with it, but when I opened it, it was just this alien skull where you have to stick your hand into its mouth to charge the ring. It's fucking terrifying. Freaking terrifying.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
It was badass.
you repetitively did it over and
Yeah,
over.
of course.
And you're like, oh.
But I won't open. I'll open my Sideshow figures and display them, but I keep the boxes and the
always keep the
styrofoam
boxes.
and all that. Yeah.
Always. I keep the little twisty ties that all my toys come with.
Yeah,
too. I just put them in the box, put the box back together, and then store it in the closet.
Hell yeah. You know, I recently bought 2 older school comics. I'm starting to collect more older comics now, or trying to at least. Obviously not the super expensive ones, but I got the first issue of Nova off eBay recently, and it wasn't graded. I personally do not like the idea of buying a comic that's in the CGC graded case. I don't know why, it's just me. Because you can't open it. You can't open a comic, you just have this thing. Now, the benefit of having it is, obviously, they say that if you keep it in the case, it will always keep that grade that they have, but you can't touch the comic, it's just this thing. And if you're good enough at counterfeiting, you could do it. And just sell somebody because they can't open it and expect a comic anyway. And I bought the first Black Panther, so.
I bought an issue of Captain America that was published the month I was born.
Oh, really?
In 1985. It was just a random one. I saw it in a store. And I was like, I want it. It was like $3. It's not worth anything, but it's as old as I am. It made me happy. It was the same month and everything. It featured the Armadillo and Hawkeye randomly.
There you go.
But yeah, made me pretty happy.
Armadillo. All right, I wrote up some questions and stuff.
What?
First off,
right.
Yeah, I just want to go to something. So, keeping in theme of cons, I've been on like a hardcore comic binge. I'm sure you have too, since you finally picked up your.
Emptied my box.
Yeah, emptied your box there.
I was out of work for 2 months. I couldn't buy my comics. It was sitting on my pull list on my phone. It was sitting at $200 to $300 every week. And I'd only be able to buy like $50 to $60, and it'd just keep piling up.
So you were over. I was about to ask you, so how much money did you drop to clear your box?
The last month, since I got this promotion, since I've been working more, and I'm just moving up in this company, I was like, I'm going to treat myself to all the hard work I'm doing, all the bullshit I have to deal with all these stupid kids that I have underneath me now. And I treated myself, and every week I was spending like $100, $120 just emptying my box. And it took a month of going over triple digits to empty that box. Just back issues of...
How many comics do you subscribe to?
Weekly, I will have a pull list of at least 15.
Oh, man, you...
My lowest week, the past few months, was a week where I had 10 or 11 comics.
See, you're... Alright, so let me ask... Okay, one of my questions was for you is going to be... How long will you stick with an issue, with a comic until you give up on it?
I will if it's a number one.
Mm-hmm.
Image is really they publish number ones constantly, and Image books are usually really really high quality books. Mm-hmm. Great storytelling, great art, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. With a new comic, I will read for 3 issues, and if by the 3rd issue I don't know whether or not I want to keep it, I'll get rid of it. If by the 3rd issue I'm still like, yeah, I'll read it, then I'll keep reading until the storyline loses my interest. If I get behind on a comic and I haven't read it in 3 issues, and I'm not like frothing at the mouth trying to figure out what the story's what's going on, then I'll drop it because I already have so many other books in my list that there's no point in continually reading a book, continually buying a book if I'm not actually reading the story and I don't care.
See, that's how I don't really have a set number, but I want to say it's like movies. I'll watch any movie once, whatever. I'll listen to any song once. TV shows, I have a 5-episode rule. But comics, I have if I hate the first issue, I'll stop.
Oh yeah.
If
absolutely.
I think it's okay, I'll go to 5, like I will TV shows, and then if I like it at the beginning, I have a problem dumping it if there's a couple bad issues, because I'm always like, okay, maybe it'll get good again.
Yeah.
But I always at least try to get, if I'm remotely interested, I will always at least try to get the first issue, just to have a first issue. But
yeah, you must definitely. Because I have that problem with manga all the time. Like I have almost the same policy. If the first one doesn't entrance me by finishing it, because usually they're longer than most regular episodes of manga, I usually will drop it right then and there. But like usually for me it takes me like it has to be really awful. Like for
I'm gonna have to get a list from you. I've never read a manga. I'll ask you to like write down, give me like your top 10, and I'll try to.
Just you tell me what you want or what kind of like
storyline. I just picked up Attack on Titan, and I made that next step after watching anime into reading Japanese comics. And the next step I need is like tabletop RPG LARPing. I'm gonna be like that ultimate nerd.
That ultimate nerd, man.
But I'm on volume 5. I just finished volume 5 of Attack on Titan. Nice. I want to pick up volume 6. I just started watching Evangelion. I borrowed it from a friend. I got the first, I guess, volume. Mm-hmm. And I went through the first disc. Like, I just watched it all in one sitting. Oh. And I haven't been able to go back because I've been really freaking busy with Apple Blossom and all this bullshit we have to do with our company.
You see, I gotta get in on. You know me with anime. I like the only 2 anime series, and I haven't really watched that much. So you know, it's one of those things where I'm not like really picky on it. Hellsing and is Cowboy Bebop considered anime?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Cowboy Bebop's my favorite.
Well,
out of anything I've seen.
Yeah, well, I would.
And I like Hellsing, so
yeah, Hellsing was good. And so was Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop's amazing.
Cowboy Bebop has like actually I think it is my favorite anime-based movie ever. Was when they made a movie.
I still have your Cowboy Bebop.
You should
right there on
I'm telling you, if you read it, like it. I don't have very many movies. I'll just rewatch but it has that Inception sort of like feel to it that you're watching. You're like, dude, did I pick up something new this time around or? I love movies.
And I guess like Squash making the live action movie they were going to make.
What? Oh, I don't know, man.
They talked about it 3 years ago is when they first got the idea of Keanu Reeves playing.
Was that Akira?
Akira? Is Akira considered a manga?
Yeah.
It was a manga.
I tried to get. I actually bid on eBay one time. They had the Akira lot of 1 to 30, and I wasn't gonna go. It was like, it ended up going way more than I was going to pay for it. But I tried. I was going to read these.
It was the first anime I ever watched.
Akira?
It probably should have been the last anime I ever watched. Because nothing has topped it since. It's so brutal and violent and beautiful.
So is manga just a graphic novel books, or are they comics too?
They are closer to graphic
books.
graphic novels than they are to comic books. They don't ever like... Yeah, it's never that. It's usually like a graphic novel book or like that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to get it on that. I will read anything.
I'll point you in the right direction. See, you're looking for the very bloody, violent, and they call it not shoujo. Shoujo's adult girl. Shonen is boy, which is the more immature stuff. What is it?
I don't know. I'm open to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's bloody.
I really am enjoying Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And I want to get the rest of the volumes that they have out.
But
I wanted to get into other stuff too. Like I tried watching at one point Full Metal Alchemist, but the giant baby-sounding robot really threw me off.
Giant metal.
Yeah, when I first watched it, I'm thinking this giant robot's gonna sound badass, and then he has a little kid's voice. And I mean, it was good. I watched like 4 or 5 issues, but I was still in the youth of my nerdiness to where it really turned me off, and I just couldn't keep watching it, so I had to stop. If I went back now, I'd probably really enjoy it, but at the time, I was a little closed-minded.
See, I'm gonna open myself up to all kinds of. I want to learn how to play Magic. Like it's something I really want to learn how to play. Like I'm serious, Blacklight. You gotta teach me.
Magic is fun. We can teach you. Next time we play on like a Wednesday. I think this Wednesday we're busy, but. The next Wednesday we play. If you're free, I'll let you know. Or Monday, whatever day.
I'll go buy some. How many decks should I buy?
You don't even need to buy decks. If you want to just come over and use one of the many decks my friends and I have.
Yeah.
And then if you do like it, we have so many cards that you can... I have no problem with you finding all my excess cards and making one deck for yourself.
Yeah, sweet.
And then going from there.
I'll start reading.
And if you want, I got free packs of Magic cards when I went to
last.
Yeah. Well, I jokingly... Did I ever tell you this? Last December, Brian was over at my house, and we jokingly played a game with the pre-built deck,
Mm-hmm.
and Brian still whooped my ass. Like,
Still whooped your ass. I thought you were going to say you beat him.
Yeah,
I think you should have recorded that and put on YouTube.
Yeah.
One match. I'm retiring now. Yeah, I really want to learn. So yeah, man. So Walking Dead.
Can we?
I'm gonna bounce back.
All right, because I was about to say I want to talk about Walking Dead, but I also want to talk about Captain America.
We will talk about Captain America. I want to talk about Captain America after Walking Dead because that's going to be a long conversation because it's going to lead into another long conversation. But so Walking Dead.
Yes.
What'd you think of the finale?
I thought it was really good. I think we all sort of predicted there was the cannibalist thing. I mean, obviously, again.
Oh yeah, by the way, this podcast is going to contain so many spoilers.
Spoilers.
If you haven't seen Captain America 2 yet, or watched the season finale of Walking Dead, then don't turn it off now.
Yeah, exactly.
Or want to know what happened in the last 3 weeks of comics being released. There you go.
No, I like the cannibalist. I totally predicted that was going to be happening. I did love the scene with Rick biting the guy.
Oh, the guy's neck off?
Yeah.
Dude, that was the greatest scene of the entire series.
Well, see, the only sad thing is, and I didn't know this because I still haven't had a chance to read the comic books, but that actually was in the comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Comics, the show has definitely gotten to a point now where there's some major big things like Terminus, them meeting the people to go to DC or in the comics. But it's really more now, instead of following any kind of storyline in the comics, they're just picking little things out of me. And I like that because for a movie to follow things out of comics is one thing, but a TV show, there's more suspense that you expect out of a TV show. And if they follow the comics, it would take all this. No one would. I feel like no one would care. And the one thing I really like about The Walking Dead show, too, is it's open. I know so many people that have never even opened up a comic book that like the show. And I kind of like that. I like that there can be a cross forum like that will get people into. And maybe, I also know people that have never read a comic book before, but they started, getting Walking Dead, and maybe that will lead them into other things. So I do like that. I really want to know how they're going to get out of Terminus. It's killing me. I got to wait till October.
I know.
I hate that shit, dude.
With the whole entire cannibalist stuff that we've pretty much gone. So how did you feel about the whole entire Herschel farming scenes and everything like that? I don't know if you watched The Talking Dead at all right afterwards. A little bit. Basically, the general gist is they put those scenes in there because they're saying that Rick's going. Remember how Rick was sort of a badass right before the prison and everything. And then he's like, "I'm the freaking boss, and this is how this is going." And it's the whole entire Herschel thing is sort of. They said it's sort of him in his mind, fighting whether to go back to being a warrior, kick ass. I don't give a shit. This is my people. I'm protecting them, Rick. Or be a civilized, civilized. Right.
And I think Rick was a civilized Rick
until the very end.
Until his 12-year-old son was about to get raped by a creepy dude, and he had to bite somebody's neck off, and that'll bring you right back to being crazy Rick.
Yep,
I love it, then, man.
Great.
So I read the other day that they have already written the finale for season 5, but nothing else for the storyline. They only know how they're going to do the finale. Which I guess is good, like Amanda said earlier. That'll help them lead to what I was like, whatever. I just wanted to know, that people are going to die in Terminus.
Oh, yeah.
Not everyone's going to make it out.
So, I don't think we've talked
And I think Carol and Tyrese will have something to do with everything out.
Also, and not Carol, Beth.
Yeah.
Beth's not there right now.
Yeah.
She's somewhere. We're not sure where that vehicle took, that could be what all of season 5 is going to be going into, just getting to where Beth's at, or whatever.
They definitely left it open for multiple storylines.
Mm-hmm. So, only other thing we haven't talked about is we missed a lot of Walking Dead during the talk. How did you feel about those two girls?
That episode where I had to shoot the little girl?
Yeah.
That shit was crazy, man.
Yeah. They pushed the envelope that I didn't think they were going to push. I didn't think they were going to... I think they were...
what worse can you do now?
Judith, becoming a zombie and eating someone. That's... I don't... Yeah, you really can't. Yeah.
Kill like a 12-year-old girl who's not even a zombie just because she killed her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And I just remember yelling Old Yeller every single time. Like when Carol was like, "Can you just look at the daisies? Can you look at the daisies?"
Like, of mice of men. And the rabbits. I remember they showed that movie in school, and at that part everyone was all sad, and I just busted up laughing. I was like, oh god, I'm evil. Just look at the rabbits. Nick, you should watch it, man. Especially if you thought that season 1, it got so much better.
I understand your hatred of Shane. I was so glad.
I think I'm the only person in the entire world who loved Shane. Because I feel like that is how I would be in that kind of world.
You think so?
I won't trust anybody. If I don't already know you, I will not fucking trust you. Look at how much trouble it's gotten them into trusting outside people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you guys, if you guys are alive, I'll trust you because I know you. But and like your girlfriends, even though I've never met either one of your girlfriends, I trust them too. No, I met yours. Never mind. I have not met your new girlfriend. I would trust them and those kind of people, but like if we were all teamed up and we ran another group, I'd be like, fuck that group. We're not fucking getting involved with them at all. I'm not.
But I mean, they've gotten.
I wouldn't try to bang your girlfriends like Shane did or ex-wife, but that was kind of dicky.
So there's one spreading on the internet like a direct-to-TV joking about Walking Dead, and it's like when it was like the whole entire when you it starts with like when your TV doesn't when you don't have DirecTV you this, and then he goes. You take an extra shift at the police department. Right? Well, when you do that, you get put into a coma. When you get put into a coma, your best friend steals your wife. And when your best friend steals your wife, he tries to murder you.
Yeah, he tries to murder you.
And then when your best friend tries to murder you, you kill your best friend. Don't kill your best friend. Get DirecTV.
You said they did make one?
Yeah, no, someone's been posting
really?
it like on Facebook, like doing little squares of it.
Sweet. Yeah, man, so...
Yeah, no, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait until October.
We're gonna have to play our game. We should the Who Will Die before it starts.
Well, I'll play again. We were playing it again. I won this season.
You won again?
Oh no, I didn't win. I didn't win last time. I almost won.
Dude, I remember when you and I did it for the mid-season finale. You guessed 4 out of 5 people who would die in the war. The governor. That's crazy. I was just like, damn, dude. I didn't get one. I got one. I said the governor would die. That's it. I got one person. But you guessed. The only one you got wrong is you said Bob. You thought Bob.
I just had a strong feeling Bob's sticky.
Dude, I've been reading that a lot of people think he's going to be the first to get eaten in Terminus. I'm like, everyone's not giving this guy a chance, man.
Poor Bob Stuckey. He's going to get eaten up.
Yeah. Well, dude, so I want to save the Captain America 2 thing for
All right. What do you want to talk about next, buddy?
I want to talk about, Nick said, Black Cloud said he really wants to, since it's an election year, talk about politics for the next...
That's exactly right.
No.
I love politics.
I'm just kidding.
Nick Rami?
We don't talk politics on this show. I want to talk about recent comics that I like, hate, and am still on the fence.
All right.
And then you guys, whether manga, whether otherwise.
You need to read comics.
I know, buddy.
Come on.
Manga, whatever, dude.
My Wednesdays are starting to open. We have the Joan Young
They're open other days other than Wednesday.
Yeah, just look it
I
up.
don't want to be that noob that walks in and be like, look at that.
Everyone
noob.
starts somewhere. Mike's never going to say that. He'd be
Dude,
like, what can I help you
Mike's
with?
Mike's
probably,
awesome. He's awesome, dude. Just tell him you know us.
I just have to say Nick Blackcloud.
Yeah. And he'll remember your name after you talk to him. Like,
especially since you're Nick, too. He'll be like, oh, okay, Nick.
Every time you walk in, he'll call you by name, talk to you, blah, 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 blah.
No,
Yeah,
you tell him what you're interested in, and he'll be like, okay, well, this would be a good place. So you don't have to drop money then. He's not going to push things on you.
He's not like
but he'll suggest things. He'll be like, you want to try this? You want to try this? This ties into this. When you get a box and you're reading a certain story arc, if he thinks something's going to tie in and you might like it, he's going to put it in your box. Be like, you don't have to buy it, but I feel like since you're reading this story arc, this kind of has something to do with it. You might want to read it.
And then, as I learned, if you've really been waiting for a comic and it's sold out by the time you get there, he will run to his house if he has it and give it to you.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he reads every new issue that comes out for that week so he can recommend or talk about. He's legit, man. Like he is. If every comic book shop owner was like him, they would all make money.
Be a better place.
Yeah, be successful. Let me talk about before I talk about what I like, because I'm pretty sure you will have some of the ones I like. I hated, and after one issue each, will no longer read the new Silver Surfer or Iron Fist. Did you read either one of those?
I read Iron Fist. I didn't give Silver Surfer a chance because I'm not really a big fan of Allred's art.
Yeah, that's what threw me off on it. The art
was doing
awful.
Either Fantastic Four or the Future Foundation. He was doing the art. Jonathan Hickman was doing the writing with the most recent reboot of all the series. And the guy doing the other, I want to say it was Future Foundation, where the Fantastic Four family goes into a different dimension for a year, and then they leave like Ant-Man and She-Hulk in charge of the kids in the Baxter Building. The part where the Fantastic Four were out in another dimension, like time traveling and all that, that was cool. It was interesting. I like Jonathan Hickman. But Michael Allred's art is just, it's really old. Like retro, like it's something that belongs in the 60s.
Yeah. And
I'm all about reading comics from that day.
Yeah, I don't mind.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
But in this, it didn't fit well now.
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. Just like Howard Chaykin's art. I don't know if you've ever read anything by Howard Chaykin, but his art style, you can ask every one of my friends, I will not touch a book that he does art for. Because his faces are fat, ugly. I feel like I'm watching a cleaner version of Ren and Stimpy. They're just atrocious characters. He's a horrible artist, and Mike's like, oh, he was good back in the day. And now his art is a little dated, but it used to be really good.
Now.
But I can't do it now. It doesn't appeal to me.
Doesn't entrance you at all.
But I will go and say that after this most recent issue of Iron Fist, I do want to read issue 2, and I'm going to give it at least another issue or 2, because that first issue, I kind of liked it. It was cool. It was interesting in that I don't really know Danny Rand as a character, so I'm not sure why his building is destroyed and all this other stuff, but it had enough of a appeal to me. And the art, I like the art a lot.
The art wasn't bad. I'm a big Iron Fist fan, and I think I was expecting a lot more out of it than what I got, and that's why I think I was disappointed.
It was a little light, which is why I want to get the next issue.
Yeah,
but
that's my only thing on it. And Silver Surfer, oh my gosh! Not only the artwork was terrible, but the story for it, I did not like.
I don't want to be like, honestly, when like Silver Surfer to me just doesn't seem like a very good like character.
Well, I love the character.
He had his own little series during the Annihilation, which was cool because it was a cosmic story arc that featured like the Skrull homeworld, the Skrull military. You had the Kree, you had Thanos, you had Ronan, you had Star-Lord, Drax, the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were all like working together or against each other for a certain thing. With the Annihilation, you had the Annihilation Wave and Annihilus from the End Zone, and then with after that, you had Ultron taking over this organic race of creatures, or this techno-organic race of creatures, and then trying to wipe out the galaxy again. Those were cool stories. That was when Dan Abnett and Lanning were working together still. They were doing good stuff. That was the Silver Surfer story that the art was really cool, and the single issues tied in really well with the overarching story because it was cosmic and all of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't even really look through this issue just because Michael Allred's doing the art.
You didn't miss it.
If you don't have art that appeals to me, I can see how people would like his art because it does kind of harken back to the Golden Age of comics. But I don't see it that way. I can't read it for some reason right now. With it not being the Golden Age but still having that artwork, I just think it's weird.
Yeah.
So, who's your favorite artist out of all the current comic book?
You know, I love Raphael Albuquerque. He has been doing American Vampire pretty much since it started, with Scott Snyder writing. Those two as a duo are fantastic. And Albuquerque's art is just, it lends itself really well to a Western vampire feel. which is what the comic is,
Right.
and it works as a horror aspect. It's fantastic. And then, other than that, I think Fiona Staples is by far my favorite artist, and I don't know of anything else she's done other than Saga. And Saga itself it's written by Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah. It's a fantastic series. It's on a hiatus again, which just breaks my heart that I have to wait another 3 months before it starts up.
Is it sickness or something?
It's such beautiful. No, they take breaks because Brian writes the stories in a full one fell swoop.
Right, yeah.
And Fiona's art is it's really smooth, but it's so detailed. And she has to she takes time to create the story and make the art so that they can publish it every month without falling behind. So they'll take a chunk of story, and then they'll wait a few months and get it all fleshed out and get it most taken care of, and then start publishing so that it's all on time and doesn't get pushed back like Brian Hitch's work, which will get pushed back for 3 years before it's finished.
Yeah, that's the thing about comics. You can take longer breaks than anything.
Yeah.
So
those are my two favorite, though.
Your two?
Artist-wise.
So the two comics that I'm on the fence that I'm giving my 5-issue rule, Moon Knight and Magneto. Have you got to read any other one of those?
I almost picked up Moonlight because I like Declan Shalvey, but I decided not to because I tried reading Moon Knight years ago when they first, I think Bendis picked it up, and then Bendis redid it again with Alex Maleev doing art, and I tried reading it then too, but it never appeals to me. I don't click with it at all in any way. So I haven't really tried.
Yeah.
And then Magneto, I don't know why. I'm giving Cullen Bunn a chance with his Sinestro comic that's starting up this next week.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
That starts.
Is it this Wednesday?
Yeah, it starts this Wednesday.
I thought it came out last week for some reason.
No, that's what everyone else thought too. But
I think it was listed.
Maybe it was pushed back.
I think it was listed as coming out on the 9th.
But it's finally Sinestro's coming back after the end of the last Green Lantern arc of Jeff Johns, where Sinestro goes into hiding. And he's finally back. I mean, he's back now for Forever Evil. He's part of it, but this is him getting his own series again, and it's going to be the first time I read Cullen Bunn's writing. So I'm not sure how I feel, but never really. Magneto as a character, other than X-Men First Class, has never appealed to me really. That wasn't really.
He's my favorite villain.
Yeah, I never really cared, so I never really gave it a shot. And this most recent comic, I wasn't ooh, I need to pick it up.
It's okay so far. It's okay. There's been 2 issues. I'll read the 5, see what happens. The thing that's bugging me with the first 2 issues is Magneto, to me, is, even though so many people know the X-Men story now and all the different X-Men, X-Men, very popular. And with that, usually people, when you think X-Men, will think, Wolverine, Magneto, Professor X, the main characters. But I feel like Magneto is such a deep and compelling character that his standalone series could be amazing right from the get-go. But to me, it hasn't been that way yet. It's like he's lost. It's like a lost Magneto trying to find his way right now through. And it's just, I don't know. We'll see what they do with it, but it's starting off slower than I would expect. And Moon Knight, it's about the pace I expect. You know about Moon Knight?
No,
he's basically Marvel's version of Batman, but I think
he's got severe personality.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's crazy schizophrenic, which makes the character awesome. He looks more badass than Batman, in my opinion. And there's always the debate of who would win between those two. They've actually done series where they had them fight, didn't they?
I don't know.
I believe they have. I don't remember what came out. It was during that whole wave of Marvel versus DC and those kinds of stuff. So.
Those were fun.
Yeah, those were pretty fun. But, yeah. Those are the ones... Okay, so the first one I'm talking about that I like, I know Nick will probably out-talk me on this, and Black Cloud will tell me. The new Ghost Rider series, I love so far. It's been 2 issues. I love it so far.
I have no idea who Felipe Smith is.
Yeah.
But Tradd Moore is he's one of my favorite artists too, because he did the Legend of
And I know you told me that you loved him. I'm surprised that name didn't come up when he asked you.
His art, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But no, Tradd Moore's art is just, my buddies and I say it's tradical, because there's no other way to describe his art. It is so cool. And instead of taking this decades-old Ghost Rider that everyone knows from this horrible Nicolas Cage movie and all these other horrible reboots that they've done, it's a whole new character.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on.
Teenager.
Yeah. It's a teenager. It's like, well, he's like in his mid-20s.
Yeah,
probably.
taking care of his younger brother.
Yeah. But he's a low-income Hispanic in California.
I'm going to say he's in high school. Because
he is in high school.
Yeah, because it showed him in high school.
Issue 2, he was in high school.
Yeah.
So he must be still in his teens.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he works as a mechanic.
And no more
Shit
motorcycle.
kind of happens. Yeah, it's not a motorcycle, it's a car this time.
Badass muscle car.
But it's
that's
absolutely
creepy.
fantastic. It's such a good series.
It is. So far, it's great, man. I love it.
By the end of issue 2, I'm like, I'm on board. The next time I go into 4-color, I'm like, Mike, put this in my pull box every week. I need this book.
Oh.
Of course, once Treadmore gets replaced, then I might be like, maybe I'm going to stop reading it, just because his art fits that story so well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm surprised you didn't put it. I put it in my box before it even came out. I'm surprised you didn't.
With Marvel, I'm really offish now.
Well,
I'm standoffish because I was reading Marvel years ago when it was still kind of good. And then a few years ago, it just kind of got really cheesy and bad, and the storylines were inconsistent, and the characters, the way they acted, didn't mesh with what the characters were like, how they were. So I stopped caring for a while, and I'm hopping back onto the Marvel wagon because they're getting their shit together now. Because that Ghost Rider is fantastic.
I feel like they have to because
so good.
Yeah, I love it. Marvel. I feel like Marvel had the pressure to get back on because not only how successful. I feel like DC's success has stayed pretty consistent. Yeah, with Batman alone. But that Image is starting to really throw
it's going to start being the big
dude.
three.
Yeah,
when you talk about big publishers, you have to say the big three now because Image is.
They're pumping.
They're becoming renowned for like indie awesomeness. Like if you are a creator and you want your own creator-owned book, you go to Image, they'll publish it, and that shit will. They're the ones that are doing. They have Vertigo's American Vampire, but they have Saga.
Mm-hmm.
They have Manhattan Projects, which has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They have Bedlam, which is a lot of fun. They had Infinite Vacation, which was wonderful as a comic. If I were to introduce anybody who hasn't read comics before to comics, I'd give them all the issues of Infinite Vacation as they read this. They are...
Walking Dead, obviously.
The
That's
Walking
been their
Dead,
big money.
yeah.
Now, Preacher was under Image, right?
That's Vertigo.
Is that Vertigo?
I think so, yeah.
My bad. Vertigo will get some...
Vertigo's dark.
Yeah.
Like,
Vertigo is dark.
Most of their books are really dark.
Yeah. That was my fault, people.
Vertigo's good. Like American Vampire. American Vampire's been fantastic.
So how many more other big publishers?
Dark Horse.
Dark
Probably
Horse.
your other one.
Dark Horse, and then you have...
I am reading one Dark Horse series right now, and it's my guilty pleasure I don't really tell a lot of people about, but it's Emily and the Strangers. Everyone has to read a really dorky fucking thing every now and then.
Are you still reading that comic book that we were talking about when we first started?
Oh, Pretty Deadly? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Right. I'm obsessed with that. But that's Image. Pretty Deadly.
All right.
Pretty Deadly is like Image's new, like, up-and-coming thing right now. But, yeah, so I guess I can talk about that one. Dude, have you got to read Pretty Deadly at all?
I haven't. I got the first issue still, but I haven't.
Speaking of artwork, I'd have to say the two artists in it are Emma Rios and Jordi Belair. I love this comic, mainly because it's the first comic where I'll actually say that I'm one of those people that obviously I pay a lot of attention to the artwork in comics, and more than just like with movies, I will really break down writing and nitpick it. I'm more of an overall story for comics, but the writing, even the most technical little details of it, amazing. Like, to me, if I had to describe Pretty Deadly, I would say it's in a Western time, obviously, but it is like poetry, and it would come to a comic. Everything is very poetic in it. The artwork looks like an acid trip. It's amazing, but it's very well done. Not like a bad. I would call the new Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I think I read the first two.
Kelly Sue DeConnick is the writer, and
she and her husband Matt Fraction do. Matt Fraction does really good work too.
Yeah, I love it. I highly recommend Pretty Deadly. The only thing that bugs me about it is it takes too long between issues. But I understand. I mean, if it's pretty detailed. 5. They're coming at 6 next. So yeah, I mean, I've been on it ever since I read the description of it. I was like, okay, I think I'm really going to like this, and I do. I love it. So we'll see what happens with it. I know it's doing very well. They're already on what I think Mike said the other day. They're getting ready to go on volume 3 of the first print already.
I believe it.
And it's only 5 issues in. So I was like, damn. Glad I started picking that one up at the at the start. But yeah, man, it's pretty awesome. Did you get to read Inhumans?
No.
Great.
I did not.
It's really good.
Was it?
Yep.
That's the new event with Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Yeah, it was good.
I have all the issues for the last event, Infinity, but I haven't read them all.
Yeah.
So I was going to wait. I was going to catch up, because I'm catching up on all my comics. I just caught up on most of my Valiant books. I caught up on Archer and Armstrong. I caught up on Eternal Warrior. I caught up on... I'm about to catch up on Exo Manowar. And after Valiant, I have a lot of my Dark Horse books. I have to catch up on Mind Management, and I got to catch up on The Massive. And then my Vertigo book, The Federal Bureau of Physics, I'm catching up on that. And then after that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get all the Marvel issues that I haven't read before, like the previous ones.
There's rumors of them tying Inhumans in with potentially with the MCU. So
yeah, that's
we'll
what
see.
I've heard because of the twins. They can't be mutants. So they're talking about making them Inhumans possibly with Kree influence.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then the last one that I really like that's going to... have you guys read Age of Ultron yet?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty good. It was... The first issue was alright. The second issue really picked up on. So
I had the first issue, and then I lost interest
by
the end of it.
Happened.
Well, I know what happens by the end of the event, Age of Ultron. I knew what happened because I was following it on my websites just so I can learn why I would care about another alternate version of the universe.
Well, something big happens at the end of the second one.
Oh.
Yeah, so I won't tell you that. Yeah, so. How about you, man? Anything new? Or anything I missed new that you really like? Or hate?
I feel bad because we're talking about comics and you don't read comics.
No, actually I have a couple questions. Alright, so you guys said they started rebooting the universe. Like a year ago?
With Marvel, it's not really so much a reboot as they're rehashing them. Yeah. They're making more number ones, quote unquote, so that people that don't read comics, like you, could be like, I'll start picking up here, and I'll be able to read comics and maybe go back later if I want, but this starts a new story arc that I can do.
So they're not actually like rebooting them from
they're
the
not
beginning?
saying, everything that happened before didn't happen. They're just saying, those story arcs are done, that whatever was happening there is done. We'll talk about it, but if you haven't read it, it's not a big deal. You can still read these issues and be perfectly fine.
Alright. Because I was trying to figure out, how do they handle, I'm sure that they do with these, rehashes and stuff like that, inside jokes to old comics at the same time, trying to give, because they want to keep the old people there, but at the same time they want to keep the new people. So how do they, sort of introduce the characters? I don't know anything about, what was the one that you said next to Silver Surfer? Iron
Fist?
Yeah, I don't know anything about Iron
Kung
Fist.
Fu Master.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing him in one of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games that I played.
Yeah, he was in... Yeah. He was in Justice League, right? One of the phases of Justice League. Iron Fist.
He was in the new Avengers.
Oh, the Justice League. Not dude, I do that shit all the time. I swear to God, dude. I'm gonna get crucified one day for that. I say your titles are under different companies. I
had a buddy say that he couldn't wait to see
Avengers.
Captain Kirk pilot the new Millennium Falcon in Star Trek. We haven't stopped making fun of him since.
Yeah. I'm okay with being made fun of when I botch shit.
Yeah. No, but he was in the new Avengers for a while.
New Avengers, not Justice League. I don't know why I said that. Speaking of Star Trek, they have announced they are making a third one. J.J. Abrams is going to produce it. He's not going to direct it, though. So he'll still be a part of it. Which means he'll pick somebody with his directing style to direct it, and he'll be there.
Which one of my students that I have here will be blessed.
He's the new Spielberg, man. I know. His directing style is so much like Spielberg's. He'll do good. Yeah. Still, man, going to be in charge of both at the same time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Gosh, I feel bad for him when he goes to Comic-Con and conventions and stuff, because he's gonna get the hardcores tearing him apart.
Nerds are mean.
They are, and you can't do Star Trek.
They're entitled. They're like, this is mine. How dare you try changing stuff? Of course, I say that, and then I'm like, I don't want to watch this new Ninja Turtles movie because it looks really cheesy.
I don't want to watch it with Megan Fox in. I haven't even watched the first trailer yet.
My buddy Sean is like,
I saw it.
He's adamant about this movie's going to be great. It's going to be better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I'll watch it.
One, you have a guy whose previous works are things like Wrath of the Titans. Jonathan Liebsman, the guy doing Turtles.
Yeah, Liebsman.
So it's like, the last movie he did it wasn't hated, but it didn't do well.
No.
And then you have Michael Bay producing it, and he's known for putting horns on a dinosaur and making it look like a dragon.
And everything
pissing me off. He killed my Grimlock. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say he ruined my childhood. That's not what he did. What he did was he adapted one of my characters, one of my favorite Transformers, because it's a dinosaur, which I freaking love dinosaurs, and it's a Transformer. I love Transformers. Those are like my two things. Yeah. And he took it and he turned it into this wiry skeleton with dragon horns that's 65 feet tall. It's nothing that the character is. And when he's fighting Optimus Prime, the grass is exploding. How does grass explode?
Everything explodes in Michael Bay.
Yeah. But I think Michael Bay just had so many explosions.
Did you ever see that old? Was it a DirecTV or cable or something commercial that Michael Bay directed?
No.
Where he made fun of himself blowing everything.
I did see that.
He had
explosions everywhere.
Outside of his house, he's blowing stuff up.
Yeah. It's good that he can make fun of himself, but at the same time, maybe you should listen to yourself and be like, maybe it doesn't need to be trashy America. Maybe I can adapt something that people love and not change it.
But you know why he does, man? Every single one of his movies makes a fuck ton of money.
It's because Americans just want pretty.
They do.
They don't care about substance at all.
Dude, I know so many people like that. Like, you know me, dude. I can watch that. Like, with certain movies, I can go just to watch it blow up. Like, when I go see Expendables, I don't expect anything but my old favorite, and literally old now, favorite action hero just blowing shit up. But I care a lot about story, and especially with stuff like we've been reading and accustomed to as children and stuff. I hate when they fuck it up. I feel like there's enough resource out there for you not to fuck it up completely and utterly while still keeping your own spin on it. And I just want to point out something real quick. Speaking of Michael Bay, this Turtles movie, producing it, I am shocked that he has Megan Fox in it. After their huge falling out with the Transformers movies, where she, surprise, surprise, was a total bitch on it and just complained the whole time, and that's why she wasn't in the third one, because he said he didn't want to work with her, that she's in this one.
See, but then I heard it was a whole Steven Spielberg thing. Like, Spielberg didn't want her, but Michael Bay didn't care, but he still kicked her out because Spielberg was producing. That's what I heard.
Which wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But,
I mean, they could have picked some better people to be April, but...
But see, all they care about is the pretty.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to Megan Fox's character, she was fluff.
Yeah.
When the
she was barely dressed.
The other girl, they're literally just there so the camera can sit on their ass while they're walking.
Wasn't the other girl a Victoria's Secret model?
Yeah. She wasn't even.
It's unnecessary. Yeah. Now that can go for anything though, because you have Kat Dennings in Thor.
Yeah.
And I'll say Kat Dennings is a pretty girl. Yeah. That's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. Her character in Thor was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I hated that character because all she was there for was for people to chuckle.
Yeah.
I don't want to chuckle. Okay, like Thor, you can have Marvel movies have a little bit of comedy, but when you put a character in there that has literally no purpose other than to make people laugh, it's like Jar Jar Binks all over again. Yeah. I don't want that. I want something. You don't have to add shit to my movie. Just leave it alone, and it'll be fine. Yeah. It would have if you cut every scene with her out of it. It'd look weird because he'd be getting tased just standing there or something. But the movie wouldn't suffer. The story wouldn't suffer.
I thought Dr. Selznick had funnier parts than she did, like in the middle.
Yeah.
Can I have my shoe back? Dude, by the way, Thor, Dark World, way better than the first Thor movie. I'm just going to say it.
My girlfriend would agree with you.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad somebody did. You didn't think so?
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't care for the enemy.
Oh, the enemy.
Malekith.
I like
And then he dies at the end. He has little to no story, so I don't really care about his reasoning for wanting the ether. Mm-hmm. And then... I don't know.
Nothing happens in the first one. That's my problem.
I didn't mind the first one because it introduced one of my new favorite actors to the Marvel Universe. No. Tom Hiddleston was the perfect Loki. And he played it perfectly. He played it beautifully.
Couldn't have...
That disgruntled brother.
My girlfriend is obsessed with him.
He was a beautiful choice for that. To the point where they incorporated him in Thor 2. They incorporated him in the Avengers more. Because he was people loved him.
Yeah, he was a hit at Comic-Con. Like, when they brought it, like, people love him. And to think that he originally auditioned for Thor.
Yeah.
No way. Dude, he was too perfect as Loki. He
was the perfect Loki. That's why I loved the first Thor movie, because it was cast perfectly. Even freaking Heimdall. Mm-hmm. Like, when they announced Heimdall's black, I was like, that's weird. I didn't get up in arms like the rest of the nerd community.
Yeah, I don't care about that kind of stuff.
And then I watched it, and I'm like, Idris Elba was perfect. He was the perfect...
Idris Elba was just an awesome actor.
Yeah, he was a great Heimdall. Yeah. He played the Olsen guy really, really well, too. It was just perfectly cast. I loved it. Yeah. And then Thor 2 was...
I like both of them, don't get me wrong, but I just enjoyed watching Thor 2 a lot more.
Now, if we're going to talk about movies, do we have other stuff to talk about, or can we get into this?
Get into what?
Captain America.
Yeah, because that's now we're on the MCU conversation. Yeah. So let's talk about Cap 2.
Okay.
All right,
I saw it 3 times in 5 days.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. How many times has everyone seen it? I've only seen it once.
I've only seen it once.
I saw it all 3 ways. I saw it 2D, I saw it IMAX, and I saw it 3D. I had to see it all.
All right, which one's the best out of the 3?
I like 2D. It really wasn't necessary in 3D, so 2D IMAX was great.
All right, so you're saying IMAX?
IMAX is always awesome to see.
No offense, but sometimes
that's what I saw. It was a big D. I just call it IMAX.
I love the giant screen, but sometimes you get the screen that's just too big.
That's why I said all the way up top.
Oh, you see, all the way up top.
Yeah, dude, because you can't. I can't imagine sitting in the first row. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this though. By my office in Herndon, there's an AMC theater. It's the only AMC I've been to, or any theater for that matter, that does this. Their seats recline, and they have the electronic. You can all the way down, and it has the foot stuff. So that's pretty sweet.
It's nice.
Yeah, actually, I will purposely try to see movies again there. So when I saw it in 3D, that's where I saw it. So, dude, I loved it. That's what I'll let you guys go, but I'll just say I loved it.
Go ahead, Nick.
You want me to go? Because I'm sure you have the more philosophical thing about it. I really liked it too.
I don't talk too much.
Yeah. No, I really, really enjoyed it also. I thought the concept was really good. The plot of the story actually was something that I personally have had conversations with people about, thinking about what amount of security do we need at what level? Do we need it?
It's very relevant.
It was actually extremely relevant.
So did you like the story? I know a lot of people thought that it was too far-fetched to drive the Hydra.
Really? Oh, well.
I didn't mind it.
I think the Hydra's complete and utter, getting into the system is a little bit over the top at that point. But the whole entire concept of I think we're talking years in the future for one big, huge, fortress that would, target people all over the United States. I thought that was a little far-fetched. Right. But the whole entire concept of, having these drones and stuff like that's doing security and watching everyone and doing everything and making judgments on that, I think we're heading in that direction. So it was most definitely. So I must have thought it was relevant, and so I thought that was really, really cool too.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought the action scenes, and I guess I'll throw this. You were probably going to talk about this anyway. His friend that became the
Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, Bucky Barnes that became
the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Thank you.
Who later becomes Cap.
Spoiler alert.
Thanks for ruining number 3 there.
Oh, dude, the comics, man. They signed that dude to 9 movies, by the way.
Oh, Bucky?
The actor.
So the guy who played Bucky?
Yeah, he's going to pop up a lot.
Wow. Chris Evans only has 3 left.
Yeah, only 3. He signed 6 total. This guy's on 9, so.
Wow.
We'll see what happens.
Interesting.
I really want to lose my arm now just so I can get a metal arm like that.
So did Jack, and then he didn't lose his arm. I forgot. Did he actually did Jack in Mortal Kombat actually lose his arm, or did they? Because in the movie,
his name's Jax.
In the movie, he gets the thing on. In the game, Shao Kahn rips his arms off.
Alright, that's what I thought,
it's different from the...
Yeah. So
And that was the gayest scene ever at the end of the second movie where he ripped his arms off to Steve Matara. I'm like, Those movies are just terrible in general.
Let's get off of that. No, I actually. But my question back to that is, like, how did he survive? Like, to be like still the youth and everything. Like they cryoed him.
Froze him.
They cryogenically froze him.
Brainwashed him, wiped his memory, brainwashed, frozen.
Yeah, he was cryogenically frozen until they needed him. They'd thaw him out, have him do a mission for like a month or two, and then he'd come back. They'd put him right back in cryo sleep.
All right, because I was wondering, because I guess I got lost on that part because when Scarlett Johansson's character
Talks about when she was in
she was like saying all these different, like, he's been around for 200 years. There's these like
just like the past few decades.
Not
since
World War II.
Since World War II, yeah. Periodically, this guy shows up and like almost like a ghost.
It was like word for word from the comic too. That's how.
Really?
That's how he was introduced in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Which when it happened, when Brubaker brought Bucky back, there was a whole like hoopla. They were like, don't bring back Bucky because Bucky's dead. He's Captain America's like best friend who died in World War II. Because this just happened 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, that Bucky came back from the dead. Like, it was a recent story, and people were really up in arms about another Marvel character not just staying dead and always coming back, and why isn't death sacred, blah, blah, blah. They got really upset about it, but, I mean, he's been big in the Marvel Universe since then. So
people actually really enjoyed. Yeah. Well, they came around on that one.
Obviously, it was adapted into a movie now.
That's why I loved like that single shot scene for a split second when Cap throws his shield and he gets it and he holds it up. I'm like, we're gonna see that.
It was beautiful. No, that whole movie was just filled with like the two guys who did it, the Russo brothers. Mm-hmm. Their previous work was Community, the TV show.
Oh, good.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, they were like one of the creators /
They even threw Albert in there.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was pretty good. But their previous work, they hadn't done an action movie before, I don't think. This was their first action movie. So not only was this just easily, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie to date, it was just a good movie. It was a good spy movie. It was a good suspenseful movie. I was on the edge of my seat. Even I can imagine not being a comic character and not a comic fan.
Yeah.
And still being on the edge of my seat during this movie because it was just a good movie. It was done well. It had so many nods to the story of the Winter Soldier that Ed Brubaker wrote, as well as just comics in general. Like the whole thing, it was laced and it was beautiful. And there were so many scenes in there where people are like, okay, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I'm just sitting there like geeking out and almost crying because like Brock Rumlow survives, and they had frickin' Arnim Zola on the machine with his face in that little machine and that little camera looking, because in the comics that was his body was a giant robot body and had a camera that would look at people. And in the movie they did that. And then when Brock Rumlow was crushed by the debris, I thought he was dead. I was like, okay, great. But then at the end of the movie, they pull him out of the wreckage and he's all like fucked up. So you're thinking, okay, he's going to start wearing the Crossbones mask. Yeah. He's going to become Crossbones. He's going to kill Captain America, and then Bucky's going to take the mantle. And it was just, it could all tie in. And spoiler, I just ruined like 3 Marvel movies for you.
Thank you.
But if they decide to go that way,
it's just so exciting to see. I don't know. It was everything I wanted.
By the way, the Russo brothers did a couple episodes of Arrested Development as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
I wonder which episode.
They did the pilot, they did Top Banana, Key Decisions, The Immaculate Election, and Spring Breakout.
Oh, I think I remember Spring Breakout.
Yeah. So, dude, Anthony Mackie as Falcon, amazing.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job. Yeah.
So are they throwing him in Avengers too? I know everybody in the world is in Avengers too, but he's going to follow Cap now. Oh, by the way, there's little things I picked up on that I thought were awesome. Speaking of it was in Captain America 2, cut outside there. I love how they put the Bible passages that Samuel Jackson said in Pulp Fiction on his gravestone when they showed Nick Fury's gravestone.
Oh, is that? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that was the passage he said when he killed people in Pulp Fiction. I thought that was amazing. I was like, I even know, Amanda's like, how did you even notice that? I'm like, I eyes. I've watched Pulp Fiction 5 million times, so I guess that's how. But dude, I loved it. I love how it ended too. I don't mind endings like that one where it's like immediately like we're gonna go do this and then it ends because the whole reason people, including myself, I throw myself in this group, are obsessed with the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies is because it's like we stop to enjoy this one and I'll watch it over and over again, but I immediately want to get excited for what's coming next. That's the reason they put the stuff after the trailers. That's the reason they throw Easter eggs in there. Like the Stephen Strange name drop.
Yeah. The minute that happened, my buddy Brett and I just freaked.
I was too.
Like, I slapped him, he slapped me, we just cheesed bad.
I did too.
Yes, because that's Marvel's introduction of magic into their universe.
Nope.
I can't freaking wait.
I did it to Amanda. I was like, Stephen Strange. And she's like, huh? I was like, yeah, I know. But so I didn't end up, we didn't end up going to the 9 o'clock. I went with my dad and my brothers, and we went to the 8 o'clock instead. Okay. Yeah. Because my dad and brothers wanted to go, but he had to get up earlier for work, so he's like, "Can we go to the 8?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." But yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about with Captain America 2? Other than once again, I liked it a lot more than the first Captain America movie.
I'm not sure what you guys were just talking about. Obviously, they showed the twins at the end. Also.
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Or my brother Joey, who doesn't read comics, called him Twitchy Boy and Smash Block. I was like, yeah,
that's her name.
Smash Block is amazing. I love her. So.
And they introduced Strucker. So Baron von Strucker is going to be like the number 2 bad guy. Well, the second bad guy in Avengers 2.
And that was the guy who was talking the whole time?
Yeah. Here's my question then. Since Ant-Man is going to be introduced after Avengers 2, is Strucker going to be the one who creates Ultron?
No, I
don't think they're going to do that?
I still have been reading everything to the point where it's going to be a rogue. It's Rogue Jarvis from Iron Man's armor.
Rogue Jarvis.
Yeah, it's just going to be like an armor that gained sentience and decided, because there was a scene that was erased from the first Avengers where Jarvis kind of flippantly talks about annihilating a lot of human beings for no reason, and it was taken from the movie. I don't know why, but I really think it's going to be Tony Stark's armor finds a way to become self-aware. Because then Jarvis is separating from it as well, and he's going to be the Vision. Paul Bettany, the guy who plays Jarvis, has been confirmed to play the Vision in Avengers 2, who was created by Ultron to infiltrate the Avengers and kill him.
So Jarvis will create Ultron, but then become the Vision.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like a split personality kind of thing.
Then why is what's his name playing Ultron?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if, like, maybe... Yeah. This is all just speculation.
What's his name?
But, Spader.
Well,
James Spader.
But you just told me, like, Guardians of the Galaxy has a couple people that have their voices going to be someone else.
Yeah, but James Spader... Is James Spader just going to be a voice?
He's doing mocap work, too. So, he's, like, motion capture. He's going to be the one walking, and you'll see, like... If you know him as a person or as an actor, you'll see his walk when Ultron's moving.
Because Ultron was like smart, very smart. And
Ultron was like a self-aware AI that was like nigh indestructible.
Yeah,
like you couldn't destroy him because he was AI. He could just upload himself somewhere else and he'd survive. If you killed his body, his AI is just floating around somewhere and he could just come right back.
Did you see that picture release, by the way, with Hulk and Ultron locked up together? Yeah. That was amazing.
Absolutely.
But
no, and they're introducing the Hulkbuster armor too, so there's probably a chance that Hulk's going to go crazy. So maybe they're going to talk about like a Planet Hulk / World War Hulk kind of storyline.
Cool. I want another Hulk movie, and I really hope Mark Ruffalo stays as Bruce Banner because he is the best Bruce Banner, I think. Yeah. I love Ruffalo's Banner.
He's been good. But no, I think it's going to be like a rogue AI kind of thing.
A rogue AI.
Maybe Jarvis and Ultron kind of like split off from each other.
I want to know how they're going to get Tony Stark back in the Iron Man suit.
I don't know.
They have to. They can't just have him there as Tony Stark.
Well, yeah, obviously it said Tony Stark will return in Avengers 2 at the end of Iron Man 3.
Tony Stark will.
Yeah.
We need Iron Man.
I don't know if it said Iron Man will return. I haven't. I've watched it a few times in theaters and then never again. I don't even have it on DVD yet.
Yeah, so I know that Robert Downey Jr. is signed for only Avengers 2 and 3. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, so I read something about how since Nick Fury talks about going to London after during the end scene in the cemetery, that's how we think that is what's going to lead him to getting Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
It makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
That's where Strucker's going to be because he's German. He's
So
in Europe somewhere.
So I wonder how they're going to tie getting Hawkeye back in. I'm imagining that's where Romanoff is going.
Yeah, I guess this is the other thing I don't understand. Alright, so they've dissolved S.H.I.E.L.D. completely now, right?
Yeah. Well, as far as we know.
Yeah. So, are they gonna, did this ever happen in the Marvel Universe?
I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. was dissolved numerous times. The most recent time was when it was after a Skrull invasion, and Tony Stark was in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he did a horrible job protecting Earth. The Skrulls had infiltrated. They rose up. They, pretty much took over the world, and then Norman Osborn took them down with his Thunderbolts. So the president, made Tony Stark one of the most wanted men in the country, took away his title, all of that, and then Norman Osborn took over and called it Hammer. And it was the whole anagram as well, H.A. All of that. Never told you what it stood for, but it was called Hammer. And it was that way until another story arc where Osborn went crazy and the president was like, you need to stop. Then Captain America took over the S.H.I.E.L.D., and he made it, it was S.H.I.E.L.D. again, it was Captain America leading it, Steve Rogers. But, I mean, it's happened before where S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been disbanded, but I don't know how it's going to go in the movie. Or the TV show, because the TV show's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And if they don't have S.H.I.E.L.D. backing them up, they're just a bunch of people with guns that might know how to fight well. And that's all they have going for them.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Of course, with the show, I'm
are
still
you
watching it because my girlfriend likes it, and I'm sitting there with her while she's watching it, and I don't really, it didn't really interest me. I didn't really care. But now that this movie came out, I want to see what happens and how everything...
That's all I'm curious about, too. So how are they linking, the TV show to the movies?
They're not.
Alright, so it's in its own, not its own universe, but its own
in the
time.
Universe, but it has nothing to do with any of the superheroes.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
But,
so sticking with the MCU conversation... So since Doctor Strange name was dropped, a lot of talk has been, first of all, how many phases they're going to go. There's been rumors that they might stretch it to Phase 4. I hope not. I just end it at Avengers 3. And then if you want to start something new, do that. But I'm ready for... not ready, but in my mind, we should end it at Phase 3 with the Thanos battle and blah, blah, blah.
What would Phase 4 be?
Fuck if I know. They said if they did it, they'd stretch to 21.
I've heard, I heard people talking, I didn't hear it, but I read by websites, hypothesizing that they could stretch Thanos into a Phase 4, where he's the big bad there, and have Phase 3, the Avengers 3, be, the superhero Civil War. So that in Avengers 3, at the end of Chris Evans' run, it's boom, Captain America's dead, and then... that deal, the aftermath of that is Thanos is pulling the strings or whatever, and then he invades and Bucky steps up as Captain America. But
once they decide to go with Thanos, they're done after that. Pretty much.
Well, we already know Thanos.
That's sort of the climax.
After the first,
but if an actor is signed on for 9 movies and he's only been in 2, then they have at least 7 movies worth of Captain America. Or 7 movies of Captain America and the Avengers.
Well, they're going to do a Cap 3.
So.
Russos are doing it. I know that's already been. But, so, for Phase... a lot of the conversation has been around what we already don't know is there's probably only going to be room to introduce 2 more characters that haven't been introduced yet. Obviously, Doctor Strange... going to be one of them since the name dropped.
And then Ant-Man.
Well, Ant-Man has already been confirmed, other than Ant-Man.
Oh, okay.
A lot of talk, and I'm really hoping that it stands true of Black Panther. I would love to see Black Panther be introduced because I think there's an easy way to tie the story in. And I think a Black Panther standalone movie is a lot better than a Doctor Strange standalone movie. Doctor Strange as part of... Sorry, I'm watching the spider come down. Doctor Strange, part of the Avengers, awesome. Black Cloud, maybe you can explain to me I just don't see how Doctor Strange standalone movie is going to be insanely entertaining.
No, I mean, people said the same thing about an Ant-Man movie, but I personally love the idea of Ant-Man.
Me too.
And it makes, like, it has, especially with Edgar Wright doing it, it has a lot of potential to be really freaking cool.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to Doctor Strange, I've only read a handful of stories featuring Doctor Strange, not counting the Avengers. Mm-hmm. So, I couldn't say one way or the other whether or not, I don't know, I can't see, unless it ties directly into a movie or it has a supporting character from another movie, mm-hmm. I can't see it being successful either.
Now, what about...
Like, I feel like it would have to be like a Bruce Banner with Mark Ruffalo, where he's introduced into a movie, and he's like a sidekick, or like Rhodey, or the Falcon, things like that.
I think
but
that's it.
As a character, I feel like Doctor Strange doesn't really have a big enough following to where if he can't hold his own book right now, I don't think he can hold his own movie.
Yeah, and from what I understand, I am very loose on my knowledge of Doctor Strange. From what I understand, the character is a lot like Tony Stark, as far as arrogant and brilliant. And
he was really arrogant before his accident, but then after his accident, he became a lot more.
And he even kind of looks like Tony Stark
with
the goatee and stuff. But now tell me what you think about Black Panther being introduced.
You know, I've always been in the bandwagon that thinks that Black Panther's overrated. Like, I don't know. I read a book. It was the Fantastic Four after the Civil War, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Black Panther and Storm took Reed and Sue's spots in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And the Black Panther used, like, I don't know how it was written. I don't remember it. All I remember is by the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm done, and I don't care about Black Panther. But he took down the Silver Surfer, who has, like, a power cosmic. The power cosmic. Like, the power of the creation of the universe at his disposal. And some fucking black guy from Wakanda took him down. And I thought it was a real big stretch when that happened, and that they were just panning to the demographics that, you know, wanted strong black character, put him in a comic, but then it's just bullshit power, like Superman in the 70s, where he can shatter reality with his fist. It was unrealistic, and it kind of turned me off to Black Panther.
Now, obviously, they'll have to dull him down if they do power-wise. But the one thing I read that they can do story-wise is his tribe that he's a part of. They are closed off because... What do they have? They have the element that...
it's vibranium.
That created a Cap shield. Mm-hmm. So they were thinking that you could easily tie into Thanos or Henchman or somebody that'll be a villain going to try to get him, right? And having, since he's like the ultimate warrior to protect them and everything, them being invaded, then taking it, tying in where he has to help them out to save his own view. I think you should do, if you're going to do a standalone out of Doctor Strange or Black Panther, do Black Panther standalone to tie in. Honestly, those are the only two characters I'd like to be tied in before the end. I'd also, we already know Captain America 3 is going to be made. I would like to see another Hulk standalone. That's my hopes.
So have they confirmed who's going to be in the next Avengers movie?
Yeah, Avengers 2, because they already started filming it. They had to actually delay filming it because, like, under a bridge they were filming, they found, like, a dead body or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't read that.
No.
Wherever it was that they're filming.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah. So it's Korea, I think, or, yeah.
So who's confirmed? Because I know that they were talking about rebooting Fantastic Four, right?
They are. Oh, speaking of that...
That's not the MCU, then.
That's not MCU. But I am super... No, it's just...
Fox.
Yeah.
Fox,
yeah.
right.
So I am really excited when I read that Toby Kebbell is going to play Dr. Doom. Only because I'm a huge Toby Kebbell fan because I love the movie Rock and Rolla. And if you've never seen Rock and Rolla, you should watch it. Because Johnny Quid, Toby Kebbell's character, is amazing. I really like Toby Kebbell as an actor. So he hasn't really gotten big in the American movie scene yet because, you know, he's from Europe. Been in a lot of those type of movies, but I think this will help his notoriety, and I think that he will do Doctor Doom really well. So that's about the only thing I'm excited for the new Fantastic Four. You know, I'm one of those people who think that Fantastic Four is a little bit overrated because the comics are so boring to me.
Word.
But Doctor Doom, I think, is the main reason that comic is good, because Doctor Doom is one of the greatest villains in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But then other than that, I can't really get behind Fantastic Four. Like I said, I will watch any comic book movie that comes out, and it has to be better than those other terrible Fantastic Fours, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Can't be worse.
No.
Jessica Alba's Sue Storm was the worst thing ever. It was the worst. It was...
You mean worse than worse?
Worse than worse.
I'd rather watch Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
Yeah. I'd rather watch David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
I'd rather watch Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Woo! Ben Affleck as Daredevil. The only thing I liked about that movie was how the Daredevil movie was how Colin Farrell played Bullseye. That was about it. It was so corny, but it was still kind of cool at the same time. So, I mean, anything else?
Elektra.
Oh, Elektra.
She wasn't really good.
Well, I didn't mind looking at Jennifer Garner's ass in those tight
Well,
leather
that's the
pants.
same thing
all
that
over.
just
I think that's the main thing that kept me interested in the Elektra movie. After that, gosh, I'm so glad these cinematic universe movies are going, because it just proved that
They just
Marvel can make good movies.
The people just didn't know what to do with them. They were just like...
I think Jon Favreau has to have a lot of credit. They do really credit him towards it too, because if Iron Man would have been a flop, it
would have stopped there.
It would have stopped there. But he did such a great job with it. It just opened the door to making all the new ones. And I still don't understand why he didn't direct the third one and Shane Black did, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
Third one was my least favorite Iron Man.
Well,
yeah.
I think that was everyone's least favorite Iron Man.
But yeah. So, anything else, man?
No, man. Well, I mean, what's the next Marvel movie to come out?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And that's in all...
Unless you're counting Marvel.
Marvel,
If you're
technically.
looking at Marvel licenses?
I'm excited.
Disney Marvel is
yeah.
going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Next
MCU
Marvel movie is
X-Men. Right?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then X-Men.
Then X-Men.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of pumped for this.
Spider-Man? Spider-Man could be cool.
Especially X-Men.
X-Men could be cool.
I think X-Men's going to be
X-Men's kind of cool.
I got really hyped about the X-Men one because I just like the whole. I loved First Class.
I did, yeah. I really liked First Class too. It was a more grown-up X-Men, and I think I'm the only person in the world that liked the last Wolverine movie.
Oh yeah, you.
I did really like it.
Like the one that just came out?
Yeah. The first one was so bad. I said that okay, if this one is a quarter better, it'll be amazing, and it was.
All right. I actually have to agree with it. It was a quarter better.
I will say the ending was really corny for the Wolverine movie, but you know me, I'm obsessed with like Asian culture and the old martial arts and that kind of stuff.
I do too. But
I like how it tied into it.
But it was so corny, and then like that whole entire titanium old man scene.
That was terrible. I love that was terrible. But
oh, that's when it's just like a little part of me died inside.
It was a pretty bad version of the Silver Samurai.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But take that away, and it was pretty good.
I never actually saw it, but I was still serving at the Alamo, so
Yeah.
I served it many, many times, so I saw most of it.
I would hate that, dude. Especially if it was because
That's why now I love that I can go a whole weekend after a movie comes out and not have it ruined anymore.
Yeah.
I can actually wait to watch movies.
You guys didn't watch big ones before they came out there?
I tried to. I would be like, I can't work Thursdays so that I can watch this movie before because I'm not ruining it.
Well, I knew. I know that at the old theater at the mall, I had friends who worked there, and they would all get together, and actually all the employees would be allowed to watch it before it came out.
Oh, the other Alamos do, yeah.
But not you guys.
This one is owned by the Naranjuses, and they're the cheapest, most... I'm not going to talk about them.
Don't they own a bunch of McDonald's around here?
Yeah. They treat the McDonald's employees like gold.
Do they?
And their Alamo is just their playground.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the people that has to sit there and watch the kids play, then you should count yourself among the blessed that you can just watch them play.
Yeah.
You don't get any benefits.
That sucks.
It was the worst place I've ever worked. And I've worked in some shitholes.
You worked there for a long time, too.
I did. 4 years. Good
thing you got a good job now. Huh?
Yeah. It'll be my store in like a year.
There you go.
That restaurant's going to be mine.
Crazy.
That'd be cool.
It's
man.
scary. Joe's a scary person.
Joe's a scary person.
Intimidating.
Yeah, extremely. It's like the girlfriend's father because you're handling something he loves, and if you don't handle it right every week, he's going to let you know. It's terrifying, but it's a great company to work for. He's a really nice guy. I like him a lot.
Sweet, man. All right, well, till next time. Peace.
Later.